Mic check, 1, 2. Good afternoon. Sorry about the delay. We are having a little technical difficulties, and we are trying to resolve those even as we speak. Just to let you know that there are a number of persons who, when they hit the link, they're going straight to YouTube, and we're not so sure why that is. So we're trying to just kind of resolve it at the same time. We want to use the opportunity to welcome you all. Okay. I'm not sure what's happening right here. To welcome you all to the man cave. I'm a little bit distracted because what I'm seeing here is not what we want to see. So we're gonna block a number of users because what I'm seeing right here is Naked HD XYZ stream girls here. So I'm gonna block all of those. Oh my God. Yeah, some pranksters seem to have gone into our system. Yes, some pranksters seem to have gotten into our system. So we're trying to, yes, okay, get rid of those. When I want the naked girls. Whoa, I'm not sure what's happening right here. Tech team, if you look on the tag right underneath there, I'm not sure what's happening there. Yes. Ooh, thank you so much. Real issue, real talk, real man. Yeah, but Nikki Girl's story. I'm not sure why that's what Nikki Girl's story. But yes, happy to have you all with us today. And we're gonna try and just do some stuff right now. That will allow us to get into the meat of the matter. You know. I want to start off with uh a kind of icebreaker. Yeah. So I want us to look at a 3 minute clip of a certain post that was done recently, and it ended up with a gentleman getting, I think, is it 6 or 8 years, and getting some time, um, because I think he must couldn't control his anger, which comes right back to the whole issue of mental health. So listen to this, and we can have a quick convo about it, and then we can work on moving the thing forward.
Brother, tell you a story. I'm in the middle of Amsterdam Square with some killers. I'm waiting on Papa to stab them like 60,000 times, bro, and I have the knife myself. I'm ashamed to tell you this, bro. I take off all my jewelry. I'm in the damn square with Penko, and I'm going to show Penko that he needs to put respect on his name. My brother, this is stupid what I'm telling you, but believe God. If Papa shows up, you will hear the news and someone will be here to make the video. My brother, I'm not lying when I tell you this. I'm waiting on Papa to fix him. Good. And I'm waiting if he shows, brother, you will hear the news. I make no joke. And I would never send you a voice note like this for no reason. I'm not here to make a comedy show, bro, or a movie, but I'm here to start a real live show. Bro, believe me, this nigga let me work this stage and don't pay me, bro, and he's talking tough. I'm waiting on him. Bro, if he shows, you will know.
Welcome back to SoFlo TV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Listen, now our dear brother, Jacure. My voice kind of hoarse still, as we would have start the video by singing, "Behind these prison walls." Can't sing it?
Oh my.
John Noah Star. Listen, let's have a serious talk. And this video ain't going to be too long. It's another 10-minute talk with SoFlo. All right?
All right,
So,
we're going to pull up
we know this
SoFlo right now.
with Jacure now. Everything came out in court. His text messages and phone calls to the individual, how he was going to actually kill him, that kind of helped to seal Jacqueur's faith, right? Nobody come say nothing to me, cause I don't have no control over that. I'm talking about what the Dutch courts put in the papers and we carried over into Jamaica what we understand to be. See? So here's Jacqueur now to do the next 6 years in prison in the Netherlands. Here is Jacqueur now to go sit down in confinement. Granted, it won't be the kind of situation like the prison in Jamaica. You know, the prison in Jamaica dirty and overcrowded and, all kind of frigrig going in there. Keep that in mind, what I just said. All right. Let me ask y'all something. When Jacqueur went to prison in Jamaica before, the amount of time that Cure spent in prison was almost a decade. Now, I want you to think about this, right? You see, in our culture, right, mental health is a game thing. Mental health.
All right. It is an interesting story, right? A very interesting story. But as the young man says, it is one that we can place at the foot of mental health. What would trigger Jacqueur? A fairly successful artist, one that people like to listen to. His music is nice, and it's usually about love and all these things and the struggle in life. What would propel him? What would cause him to contemplate doing something like what he did? You see, when we talk about mental health, a whole lot of people have a tendency to believe it's just the mad people on outer road wearing dirty clothes. That's mad enough. No, number of persons in clean clothes and suit and jacket and tie, they are suffering from some mental health issue as well. To be quite frank, the only thing I could even contemplate triggering a man like Jacqueur, so even if a man don't want to pay him, you don't send a voice on they're going to stab a man 60,000 times and then go about doing that. You understand me? Basically, that's tantamount to premeditated murder. And him lucky enough get 6 years, to be honest. He's quite fortunate that 6 years was all he got. And so we want to take it seriously. Last week we had a mental health specialist on the line, Mr. Nesbitt, who basically was saying that what we're doing is a wonderful thing. Men need an opportunity to talk about some issues. Men need an opportunity to evaluate, to just look back, sit back, and work through their process. And believe me, we do need that. We need it. We need it. Yes, and even more so now than ever before. Yes, he's in Amsterdam. He's doing a show or more than one show. The opportunity for him to sell more records, more album, make more money is there. And yet still he's going to behave in such a manner. He's going to do something that would jeopardize his future. It's either I'm love going to prison, it's either I'm love prison food, or behind those prison walls and feel comfortable. Nevertheless, whatever it is a sad situation. And we believe it's a mental health situation. Jacqueur needs to be evaluated. Yes, and he needs somebody to talk with him. He probably have an anger management issue. He needs someone to have that conversation with him, and he needs someone to provide him with the kind of resources that he needs to resolve some of the issues, the unresolved issues that he has. Because it's obvious that he has some unresolved issues. Yes, I was reading something recently and it was like a joke. A man was saying that this man owe him $20 and him don't come around him anymore. Him don't see him. And when him see him, what him going to do? And the man said, no, when you see me not going to do anything. Him say, why? Him say, well, put it this way. $20 is a little bit of money to pay to get somebody who you don't like out of your life. So why would you even care that him come back in your life? So rather than kill him for $20, just see it as an investment. That's what the man said. He said, see it as an investment. $20 was what you invest to get rid of somebody out of your life, and to make the thing work. Yes, that is what it is. And therefore we just want to us to look at that and just go through some of the issues that we want to go through. Give me 1 second. Let me just send a shout out to Tech Team. Um, somebody's asking that you disable YouTube chat. Yes. It's a part that there's somebody who is, well, what's it called now? Somebody has gotten into our system, and what is coming up is naked HD XYZ enough watch stream, naked girls, yada yada yada, these things. Yes. So we don't want that. So disable YouTube chat because that's what is filtering in on the system. See, somebody has hacked into this. Apparently, somebody has hacked into the system. So we want to just line up that proper. Yes, disable that chat for me, and yeah, boot them out of the system. They're messing up our thing. Yeah. So I don't know if anybody want to make a comment on that. How would you treat a situation like that? Am I idealistic? Why I think him could have walked away and have the police or his management deal with the money issue rather than go get himself involved and stabbing up the man and getting 6 years. How would you approach it? Do you think I'm idealistic to say that him could have done that, which is a correct thing? Most big artists not going go there and negotiate on them own behalf. They have the management to do that. So them don't get involved with people at that level. There's something fundamentally wrong with his approach. So if anybody, we're just looking for 2 or 3 comments. If you want to comment, shoot a comment and let us see what is happening right there. How would you deal with it? Just say it quickly. You can type it in. Okay, we don't have all day, so we're expecting you to type something in the comments so we can go through that part. All right. Let's go to the chat. Yes, go to the chat. All right. Whatever you see in the chat. Beg your pardon. Okay. Yeah, we're not seeing anything in the chat, but we figure seriously we'll do it. And there's somebody who keeps getting booted off the platform. I see keep going to the number going up, the number going down. I'm not sure what's happening with the connectivity there. But if you can hear, it's all good. If you can hear via the YouTube, that's all good. The chat in the YouTube, please lock that off because there are some persons posting stuff that we don't particularly want to see right now. Yes. So, but let me know what you feel about Jacure and his situation. Let me know how you would have approached it. Let me know how would you professionally, yes, handle a situation like that? Would you get involved directly like him? He seems to have an anger management issue for real, and therefore with us, we trust that at some point in time, that situation will be corrected for him. Yes, because I think that's what needs to get done. Yeah, him need to get himself checked, and he need to work through his process. That just seemed like a whole lot of anger, and how it played out. It's just almost like just premeditated. I take off all my jewelry, that Papa thinking that, yeah, that's crazy. But then sometimes men go through some of these issues and they really don't have no advice. They don't get no advice on how to deal with the issues that they face, and it becomes debilitating. All right, let us run a quick recap. We're gonna ask our tech to just run the trailers on the bottom. Our speaker, Mr. Nesbitt, I just want to thank him once again. If he's on, we just want to big him up. Yes, told us about the 9 symptoms of depression, loss of interest in things you love, whether it's a game, whether it's food, whether it's whatever, you lose interest in that. There's also a case of debilitating sadness. You lose weight, you have insomnia, can't sleep, you become suicidal thoughts start to basically venture into your subconscious. You want to be isolated, not having the energy to clean the environment, to bathe, to do nothing, that kind of thing. So, depression takes that away from you. And of course, what it makes too is that you allow your environment to fall into disrepair. And that can be debilitating. It's also a sign of depression. He looked at that, he looked at the fact that You need, in order to deal with this, you need to put a little structure in place, and you need to follow through on what you put in place. You might just take a breath, just take a breather, just go somewhere else, just move out of the space and go all elsewhere, and just have that kind of getaway, breathe, yeah, just find something new, new interest, new sights, to assist you. You must acknowledge what you are feeling as well, because therefore some people actually try and not acknowledge it, but that is not addressing the matter. You have to acknowledge what you're feeling. Yes, I am feeling whatever. I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling whatever. I'm feeling suicide, yeah, whatever. So you have to acknowledge what you're feeling, where you are feeling it. So if you feel it more when you're at home, then you need to also acknowledge that. If you feel it more when you're out at door, acknowledge that. If you feel it when you're with your friend, you need to acknowledge that. Yeah. And when you feel these things and you acknowledge these things and you start basically to make the notation, then you need to ask for help. Yes, you don't be afraid to ask for help. You need to ask for help. And the help doesn't necessarily have to come from a physical person. Transdental, or yes, yeah, bite on my tongue. Yeah, you can put it all on God. You can talk with God. Yes, it might not answer you audibly that other people can hear, but you can talk with God. I've often said to people that sometimes we live in a second dimension and we don't know that we live in a second dimension, because all of us now can do an exercise and you will hear yourself, but nobody else will hear you. Did you know that you can close your mouth and scream? Scream as loud as you want. Just close your mouth and scream. Mentally, you hear yourself. Mentally, hear yourself scream. Mentally, you feel the anguish. Mentally, it's on a different dimension. Nobody's hearing you. You're not saying anything audible, but you can hear yourself screaming. You can feel yourself bawling. Yes, it's happening on a different dimension, a different level. And therefore you can ask God for help. You can put it all on God. You can ask God why. You can have a conversation with a higher being, a higher power. Yes, that is able to provide you with the opportunity and to provide you with the space and to provide you sometime with just that little breathing space that you need to address some of the issues that you are facing. Um, and therefore, I want you to understand, asking for help, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. Men have a tendency to be like we're tough. We're tough. You're all that and more. Yeah, man. Are we run things and we are this and we are that and we are where. No, ask for help. My thing is ask for help. Wait, read my lips. Ask for help. Yes. So in the event where we are facing some of these issues, we can ask for help. Ask for help. It's important that we do that. Yes. Just take a breath. Just decide to go out. Yes. You're feeling some way. You're feeling off. You're feeling disoriented. Just feel out of yourself. Not feeling yourself. Take a breather, man. Take a breather. Drive to the country, man. Take some fresh air. Yes. See some sights. Something that you have never seen before. What I do sometimes, and you are rather used to do, is whenever I'm feeling a particular way, I drive slowly through some places and I take in everything. If you take a still photo of a place and you do it like you stretch that photo, what you'll find is that the different people you see in the photo, what they're doing, you never saw it if you drive by quickly. You'll never say that a young man is playing football and the dog is trying to take the ball off his foot. You're not gonna say that. You're not gonna see a cat a scamper away while him playing football because a dog basically rush him. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see that there's a little butterfly trying to navigate its way through the maze of garbage and debris in a little ghetto place. You understand me? While other persons try to eke out a living close by. You will never see that unless you take a still photograph and look at it piece by piece, frame by frame. So sometimes you have to take a drive out. You're not feeling yourself. You know you're not feeling yourself. You know you're not feeling well. You take a drive out. You take a drive out to the country. Get some fresh air, man. Meet some nice people. Say hi to the people in the rural area, and they will say hi back to you. And they'll give you this big bright smile, and then you know that good people still exist, and you will know that great things are still happening, and you will know that, listen, despite all that you're going through, you still need to be grateful. You understand me? And it's important. One second, one second. I'm getting some feedback here. Could we make some adjustment, please? Thank you so Okay, thank you so much. Beg your pardon. Yes, so those are part of the issues. Some of the issues that we face, some of the issues that we must confront. Yes, and of course, Mr. Nesbitt is available to us. You will see his number being scrolled on the bottom. So if you need to see him on a professional level, I suppose we can get him back because he had basically made that kind of commitment, so we can get him back just to have a general conversation. But on a deeper level, if there's need for deeper help, yes, then he is available, and he's one of those persons who specialize in trauma-induced um, mental health issues. Yes, because sometimes we do have trauma in our lives, and that trauma basically is a catalyst for something else, and therefore we need to deal with those issues, those traumas, before we can move forward in a very productive way. And therefore, he's available to us. So we just want to thank Mr. Nesbitt again for being here, for being open, looking at some of the issues that cause the whole issue of depression, look at some of the implication of depression, look at some of the issues that men face, even in the cycle and the season of life that they are. So we look at the fact that some person might be going through andropause, and as a result of that, we might have issues there, and so on and so forth. And those issues can be myriad. They just don't have to be one. That we're going to forget stuff and this and that. It might mean something else. It might mean that we become less functional in certain areas of our life. But all of that is for a time, and all that can be rectified. Yes. Just like depression can be rectified as long as you don't go out of bounds. I mean, just leave it unbounded. Yes, it can be rectified, and it needs for us to understand. As long as you know that this is what you face, and you have basically confronted it, then there are some steps that you need to take. Some of the things you need to do too is to set yourself some goals, and despite all you feel, you need to make sure that you achieve those goals. Those goals that you set, you make sure so you work towards those things. Part of it is at certain age too, it's easier for you to get depressed. We learned that. Yes, because your frontal lobe. I don't know the science. I don't remember the scientific name for that. It's not fully developed, and as a result, issue of not being productive enough, not accomplishing it's sufficient that you think. Because some people think they need to own a house and a car, and can buy a ticket out of Jamaica every month, every other month. By the time they're 21, that's virtually impossible, unless your parents are multimillionaires and they're making some serious monies to facilitate that. But if you are just like the rest of us and you're working hard to make two ends meet, or your parents rather, you're in college, then the fact of the matter is you will not have all of those things by the time you're 21. And therefore, you need to set yourself realistic goals too, and not overextend yourself and overly pressure yourself to become what everybody else wants to become. Yes? Everybody wants to be successful. What is success? Some people think success is having 5 cars, 3 houses, a wife, 2 kids, a dog, cat, jacuzzi in the back, and a swimming pool at the front of their house. If that's what success is, then I hope are people successful. But they are still not happy. So success don't necessarily equal happiness, and therefore we need to understand this as well. But this is a summary, so we'll go back to all that. So we're looking to just help to guide, help to point our membership in a particular direction. Yes. Before we move on, I would have sent out a link for the Man Cave Blogspot. So it's https://mancavepodcast.blogspot.com, and if you go there, then you will be able to log on and be able to comment, because we want to feel your comment. We want to feel the pulse of our membership. We know some persons have gone on to YouTube because the connection that they had sent them straight to YouTube. But we want you here. So try and get back here so we can have the conversation, and try and get back here so we can basically, have the dialogue about some additional things that we want to talk about. All right. Is there anybody as a two-person on the line? I don't know if anybody wants to make a comment on some issue that we are about to get into. As well, there are a number of persons. Yes, yes, they can. There are a number of persons who I gather have suggested that they will look back at the previous episode. And there is a link for that too, where you can look at the previous podcast. And of course, glean from our discussion and glean from the ideas that we have thrown out. Yes. Yeah, some of the issues that we will contend with and that we'll seek to provide some answers to. Everybody's not the same, just like if you take medication, everybody pathology is not the same, and therefore everybody will not necessarily mean that 2 Panadol will help your headache. You know what I mean? Some people might have to take something stronger than that because our pathology is not the same, and therefore, as a result, we take advice and we basically measure the advice and the success of the advice based upon the utility of the advice and based upon exactly what we need to answer our questions. All right. So again, it's Man Cave. Yes, you're watching the Man Cave podcast, and of course, we're going into some additional things because we're going to pick up back from where we left off. So we actually took a break and went to the mental health issue because we think that was real. To be quite frank, I want to just continue a little bit on that road because that road seems to be a road that a number of persons, I believe, need to visit. Yes, I think a number of persons need to visit that road. Over the past week, we would have seen a number of murders taking place. Drive by, wanton, reckless, seem like there is no reason, no purpose to it. People just drive by and shoot people. 6 people get shot, 3 dead, 7 shot, 3 dead, that kind of thing. We would have seen how people driving on the road now, and the way they're driving on the road is totally ridiculous. Some people don't stop at stoplight anymore. If you ever make the mistake and as the light say green, you go through that light, the possibility is that you might be hit by a car coming through a red light in the opposite direction. And therefore, we have to take stock. We have to step back a little bit. Not everybody, because not everybody on this platform, but we will have to take stock and look back at just how are we part of that problem? Are we part of the problem that we are rushing always to somewhere and not being careful? Are we always in a rush? Are we always trying to break our neck to reach wherever we're going? Yes, at the expense of somebody else. Do we consider the lives that are at risk when we are behaving irresponsible? These things are things we need to look at. And these things we need to make sure that as men, we don't participate. As men, we try to rein in back. If I'm in a taxi and a man going to break a light 2 or 3 times, I'm coming to that taxi. I'm paying him what him come to that taxi, and I am not staying in that taxi. Because it means that he doesn't value life. So who a taxi man? I can say it clear right now. We're not knocking everybody, but a whole lot of taxi men do not value the lives of the people that they carry. In their minds, the people they carry just represent $1.50, and that's what they represent. Or $2, that's what they represent. The life is more than that. And the people you carry is more than that. And I am value more than that. So I will not risk my life for $2 just because you feel that I am just worth $2. So there are some issues that we just need to face. We need to start talking to each other as well. And we need to start talking to some men. Either of them disagree. We need to talk to them. Yes, if you are in a taxi and a man that break every rule on the road, and if you say, yo, stop in the brother, let's take your time, man. Whoever we are going half a tree, we're going to reach half a tree. But if we do this, we might not reach half a tree. You understand me? Worse than them say nice open roads. When it's a nice open paved road, it come like there's a spirit in them and they just want to press out. I am saying we need to start having the conversation because we need to keep each other safe. We need to ensure that at the end of the day, everybody good. Good. Bless you. All right. So that's my 2-cent word right there. And that's a recap of the last episode. Now, we spoke about relationships. Yes, we spoke about relationships. We were having a discussion about relationships and how men must prepare for relationships. We look at the fact that if we prepare for career, yes, we must also prepare for a relationship. The woman with whom we will spend the rest of our lives. And therefore, there's some stuff that we need to know. We don't necessarily need to find out some of those stuff. Some of the stuff we need to know from before. it is kind of sad and it's kind of ironic that the people who we live with, closest with, share our space with, and everything else with, that the person who will do all of that with is the person we know the least about. No, that is crazy. When I saw about that, I was like, yo, for real, that is like I'm mad. That's crazy. That is crazy. Um, and I was saying to myself, I said, boy, how do we change that though? Because we need to change that. We need to change that. Yes. So relationship, sexual and reproductive health. We're going to go into some discussion where that is concerned. That's why I need to hear your voices. That's why I need to start seeing you sending some text so we can get into the meat of the matter, man. Yes. Because we want to look at all of that. No, I learned something recently, and it kind of shook me because I never know it was so bad. Yes, I never knew it was so bad. There were some statistics shown recently about the level of um the level of ED in the male population. One second, let me just try and bring up the document. Um, okay, let me just bring it up quickly. Um, so the young lady gave us some statistics that I'm trying to find, and the statistics shook me. I did not know that it was so bad. Um, the stats, I think, and I'm trying to remember because I'm not seeing it come up. The stats would suggest that men under 45, about 40 odd percent of those men would have had some erectile dysfunction. Yes, and the older you get, the number actually doubles. So by the time you reach 55, the number actually double. So it's about 80%, 80% of all men who would have been impacted by that. Several things can spin off from that. As I said, we're looking at relationship. We're looking at how we can have better relationship, how we can have longevity in our relationship, how we can keep our relationship spicy and happy, active, how we can keep the expectations or meet the expectations of all parties in a relationship. Yes, and therefore we need to start looking at ourselves. Men have a tendency. This is the first thing I want to talk about. Men have a tendency not to take care of themselves. They feel like they can do this as long as they keep breathing and moving them all right. As if that's the only thing there is. Yes? We put up something for laugh, but it wasn't really for laugh. We look at what it took to keep a woman happy and what it takes to keep a man happy. Um, and we laughed, but the fact of the matter is, it was a serious statement. And some people actually never bother comment on it. But the bottom line is, it really causes us to think. It should cause you to think. It should cause you to think about and try to process whether or not you fall in this category. And let me give you an idea. It says how to make your wife happy. First, you have to be her friend. Then you have to be a companion. You have to be a lover. You have to be a brother. You have to be a father. You have to be a master. You have to be a chef. You have to be an electrician, a plumber, a mechanic, a carpenter, a decorator, a stylist, a sexologist, a gynecologist, a psychologist, a pest exterminator. If there's a cockroach or whatever, that or rat that goes to the extreme. So you have to be a pest exterminator. You have to be a psychiatrist. You have to be a healer. You have to know how to pray. You have to be a good listener, an organizer, a good father. You have to be very clean, very sympathetic, very athletic, very warm, very attentive, very gallant, very intelligent, very funny, very creative, very tender, very strong, very understanding, very tolerant, very prudent, very ambitious, capable, you have to be capable, and you have to be courageous, and you have to be determined. You have to also be true and honest, open and upright at all times, and dependable and passionate at the same time. No, that is what it takes to keep your wife happy, but that's on the end of it. No, for her to be really and truly happy, you have to do these things. You have to give her compliments regularly. You have to go shopping with her. Although, she can look at every piece of clothes in the store and then she look at them 2 and 3 times, go to another store, look at every piece of clothes there, so and another store, and then come back to the first one because that she compared price and all these things. Yes. So you have to be compliment her regularly, go shopping with her, be honest, not stress her out. Yes. Not look at other girls. Yes, you have to give her lots of attention, give her lots of time, especially time by herself or for herself. And you have to give her lots of space, allow her to visit her friends and members of her relatives, and so on and so forth and so forth. And most importantly, learn not to ask for change when you give her money for shopping. Whatever you give out becomes rightly hers, no matter how big the note is. That's how you keep a woman happy. Yes, and some might see that a joke, but that's a serious thing. It is a serious thing. No, what it takes to keep a man happy, you feed him. Yes, she would feed you. She would sleep with you. She will leave you in peace from time to time. She don't check your phone messages. Don't bother you bother you about your movements. Um, Clean the house. She will clean the house so that you're happy. She wash your clothes. That's somebody, not everybody, and she'll always pray for him. It takes this 8 major thing to keep us happy, but the next 52 to keep her happy. And some people might think that's a joke, but it's a serious thing. And some persons are not prepared to do all of these things, but you have to do all of those things. All of those things are required. It's a requirement. Recently, I also read somewhere where a young woman was saying that she is not, what you call now, those centers that you take people to fix them up for therapy. Yeah. So she said that she's not a rehab center. She is not a rehab center for broken men. And a man rightly responded to her and say, well, we are not a bank either. And a number of things that we just spoke about, him saying not that either. You understand me? So it was like, overshare that show. But the bottom line is some persons are like that. And as we go forward in the 21st century, you'll find out that some people, not everybody, some people put a high value on money. Money and appearances. Not necessarily the root cause and the nitty gritty of these things, but money and appearances. That's what they put. That's what they put value on. Now, in that case, how will we navigate that? Because as I said to you, before you go to have and marry to this woman, wife or whosoever, you should ask some very serious questions. We need to ask the questions, the hard questions. We need to ask them what kind of relationship. We heard it preach this morning. These hookup configurations are serious considerations. So you have to find out if it's an exclusive relationship you're in, or if you are an exclusive team. Yes, meaning that some persons give their significant other the right to have more than one significant persons. So it's like a team thing. Some people share, so that's a team thing. You understand me? Or that you want a one-on-one, or that you want us just to go out and enjoy each other company, but we have the right to enjoy other people company and other people enjoy our bodies and so on. So there's a number of configurations. I never know that there was so much until I start doing research on these matters. And therefore, you need to be thinking about that, because I know if you are old fashioned like me, then the exclusivity is what we're looking after. And when we decide that we're going to get married, then we want to be exclusive. Yes. And therefore, we have to be certain when we're doing this thing. We have to be certain, because people tell you that no, you weren't very clear on the matter. Oh my God, you're not very clear on the matter. So we have to be very clear when we are dealing with some of those issues. All right, I want to go back to the whole issue. bioregeneration and the whole issue of ED for men, because the older you get is the more you might be impacted by that particular setback. You know what I mean? And in that case, then we need basically to determine, yes, to determine exactly how we're going to approach the things that's impacting us. Yes. There are a number of things that you can look at, and I say to people all the time. Over time, you see, people might say, "No, man, you're all right, man. You can do this, or you can do that, or you can whatever." And I'm suggesting to you that that should never be the case. You see, people can say anything, you know, but at the end of the day, you have to answer the question for yourself, right? You have to answer that question for yourself. As a man, part of our responsibility, part of our duty or routine is to provide certain comfort for wife and family. Yes? And therefore, in the event where you can't do that, then you have to ask yourself a serious question. These are some of the basic things that you need to do for your wife. And if you can't do it, then how does that work? Mark you, there might be other issues that impact you not be able to do it. But the fact of the matter is, you should be able to do it. And if you should be able to do it and you're not doing it, then it's time for us to visit with our healthcare practitioner. Sometimes it's a minor thing. It could be that you're depressed. It could be that your testosterone levels are low because you're getting older. It could mean that we have abused our bodies. We have drank too much alcohol and smoked too much cigarettes and smoked too much cannabis, and it's impacting us negatively. It could be that we have consumed too much rum and boom. Rum carrying you down and boom carrying you up at the same time. It means that your body is confused, and therefore it will impact other organs in your body. We have to think about those things. And then we have to think about the fact that, okay, fine, if this is the case, then how do I move forward? And some people say, but that never happened to me yet. So what I tell you something, anytime you would have found that your member, your phallus, is not at its fullest strength, yes, or it doesn't stay where it needs to stay for the duration of whatever, then it means that you are affected by ED. And not a death sentence. I said sometimes that is an easy fix. Sometimes that easy fix. Right now, they have medications for that. I do not subscribe to a big pharma pharmaceutical remedies because I think some of that is poison. I think some of that is only there to ensure that you come back to make them rich. Yes? So I always see go the more natural remedies, for this kind of thing. And I don't want us to be shy about talking about these things. This is not to be shy about. This is it's an open forum. So we want to make sure that when we deal with certain things, we are at our fullest strength and that we keep this way for a long period of time. Indeed, I would have spoken to people who I know in the medical fraternity, and I asked a question. I have asked a question about, what constitutes good sex. I've asked a question about why some people turn to themselves, men to men and women to women. I've asked that question. And as a matter of fact, I want to tell you something. One at a time, somebody said to me that no doctor can ever tell you that it is a healthy disposition. Yeah, people in the fraternity, man, not what happened. I don't care how legal it is now. I don't care how accepting we are of it. That's not the point. The point is, it's not supposed to happen. And the people them who know tell me it's not supposed to happen. There's no health benefit from it. When you, apart from the fact that you might feel a small tinge of joy, but yes or no. But otherwise, on your physiology and your pathology, it will impact negatively, yes, on you. And therefore, there's no health benefits where that's concerned. Whereas in healthy heterosexual relationship, there's a whole lot of health benefit. To be quite frank, persons are encouraged to have sex, for as long as they can have sex. into them 70, 80-year-old stages, and you do it at 92. Them need to go and do the thing. You understand me? Because there's health benefits for that. As a matter of fact, happy sex life mean that you recover from illness quicker. You have less frequent illnesses. Yes, there's a whole lot of health benefits for persons who have sex regular with the opposite sex. And therefore, as a man, so we need to understand, so listen, we need to be getting some of the thing, you understand? On a regular basis. Sometimes you have to hold straight for a long time, because if you love your partner and really care for your partner, you would want to ensure that at the end of the day that your partner is up and running. You don't want to be asking people that are not fully 100 to give you the 100. You understand me? So therefore, it's a matter of now looking back at and say, okay, we need to make some adjustment here, some adjustment there, but we need to ensure that that part of our obligation to our spouses are honored. Yes, everybody need them to fix. Everybody need to get them fixed. Indeed, the Bible says, if them don't get them fixed, them will burn. And if you make people burn, that means you will be liable if anything else happen. If you make them burn. So we're not making nobody burn. So yeah, so that's a critical part of it. So my thing is, if you have an open relationship with your spouse, then it means that you will have the conversation with your spouse. If you don't feel comfortable, go have a conversation with your doctor and give her the results, or talk to her about the results. Yes, but don't have the conversation. The conversation must be had. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm encouraging every man on this platform to do. Every man on the platform, yes, to do is to have the conversation. And I would say this, I'm no medical practitioner. I'm just a practical man. As I'm also a practical man who is guided to some degree by my wife, what you call it now, compulsive. She's very compulsive. And therefore, I am guided by that. Because I would have learned from her that a number of the remedies that we would want to seek from the doctor is not the best route forward. Pharmaceutical have side effects. One doctor actually says himself, listen, one of the challenge with, for example, ED medication for men is that it gives you a rise when you need a rise. But what it does, it takes away your ability to rise naturally. Because your body now starts to depend on the medication, the drugs to rise to the occasion. And if the drugs is not present in the system, there will be no rise to the occasion. And some of us would have got to take some bootleg thing. Well, last story a year and a last till I did, but the fact of the matter, it was a serious story with a gentleman who went far away and get a concoction, inject himself in order to get, the phallus to full maximum strength. What he did get was a swollen phallus, and he felt like it was going to explode. Yes, and then he felt a searing pain in his belly button, and they had to rush him to the hospital. When they rushed to the hospital, they had to put him, said it's the biggest needle he ever seen in his life, and they had to put that needle down into the head of that phallus. And when the lady pulled on it, the amount of black, gooey blood that came out of it, he thought that he would have died. He thought that them would have cut out the phallus because they're not good again. The doctor said it's a good say come in when you come in, because if you never come in at that time, more than likely this would have just been a phallus. No use to nobody. So my thing is always seek the natural remedy for yourself. Yes, do the research, and we're going to share some things too, and this line too. Why not? We can share some stuff. It's natural, and it doesn't pose any side effect like drugs, like the drugs that they want to sell. Cialis and Viagra and all the other drugs. Them, you know what I mean? Over them out there, a whole lot of them out there, and a whole lot of them want to be, they want it to be sold, and a whole lot of people, pushing for to get them sold. People are selling bootleg too. Some bootleg thing them selling off and mash up the system. They say, this is it, man. This is the answer to Viagra, man. This is for black people, different from that one. That one for white man, it's a black man. They have more for rice and these things. And you take it and you mash it up. You take the liver mash up. You take the rise one time and you never rise again. One time rise, never to rise again. You understand? So we have to be very careful, we have to be very mindful, but we have to take care of ourselves. If you want to be the kind of husband to your wife that you expect, that she expects you to be, then it means that you have to take care of yourself. Yes? And I don't mean that I'm going to treat you like a piece of meat, But I mean, you have to take care of yourself. The physical, of a good, strong physical specimen of a man with everything working and his mind fully in tune and him knowing responsibility, that is the kind of man that most women only dream of. Yes? And some women have a dream of, because some women know about good man. Some women don't know good man when they see him. Yes, and some people have a good man and they will want to break him down to nothing, and then know when him go rogue, then you hear all man or something. Nevertheless, we're not even thinking about those and contemplating those things. We are thinking specifically about being the kind of specimen that will make you the prime alpha male that your wife would want to be with. Yes? Now there's something else that we need to talk about. So outside the fact that you need to take care of yourself, when you see certain things happening, visit your healthcare person. That's why it's always good to have a family doctor or a personal doctor who will be able to level with you. Yeah, man, level with you, talk to you about the things then. Yes? But you also need to understand that sometimes our very own actions coming out of the season of life that we are in also help to create additional problem. So, for women in particular, when women are going through menopause, that can be debilitating. One lady say it's going through hell. Yes, that's what one woman actually said. You know how you know? She said, "What do you mean menopause?" I say, "Yes." She said, "Listen, it's hell." She don't remember stuff. Yes, she's hot and cold flashes. She's irritable all the time. A number of things. Some person lose their appetite for sexual activity, so that too impact negatively on the partner. You understand me? And sometimes can create additional problems. If you are going through andropause and she going through menopause, then you have two people who don't remember things from time to time, and who sometimes don't have the kind of appetite that they should have for sexual activities, although they're married. Now, when you have that happening, then more problems and more challenges than you ever imagine, yes, will come to the fore. The thing is for us to understand where we're at, understand what we are going through, and take the proper steps to address those matters. So for persons who stop produce estrogen and so on, for the women and so on, they need to do the doctor thing, and there are natural remedies that can help you to replace the estrogen and replace some other stuff that you would have lose as a result of not, your period, they're not seeing a period anymore. And it can help to re-regulate and to balance you. For the men, the same thing. There's that same approach to men. Men go through a different psychological challenge, because sometimes when you're going through this season of life, what you seek to do is to prove to yourself that you still have the little thing, that the mojo still work, that you still have little magic, that you are still a G. Yeah, a G unit, you're the granddaddy of the G unit. You want that. So what some men know decide to go out, go all about, you understand me, to prove that him still have the G. To prove that, you understand me? Yeah, that him mojo is still there, like a magic, like a fire. It's still there. No, in that case, you realize all the actions coming out of a season of life and the change in hormones that is impacting you upon a psychological level and a physiological level is putting you in a wrong direction. It seems to me that it is time for you to address, step back, observe, figure out where you're at, figure out what you're going through, and take the proper steps to address those issues. Those issues can become debilitating. Enough people could become divorced during this period of time, only to regret it when menopause done, then you regret it. When andropause done, then you regret it. You understand me? You must understand what your spouse going through and understand what you're going through. The women are not here, so we can't even talk to them about the issue of understanding. But we can talk to the men, because the men must understand now that there are times when your wife will not want to have sex because she's going through menopause. She's going through a change. Her hormones are just all over the place, and all of the issues that impact her is mentally, psychologically, physiologically, is just crashing down on her. You have some people who go through menopause and actually go mad. They actually lose their mind. We know women who would have been through menopause and what naked. People think they was mad people for 1-2 years. They're mad. Them dirty, they're mad. Them walk without clothes, them expose themselves until them get rebalanced and certain things are addressed. And you do have some men, nice, decent man, where always I do the thing, always have him eye upon the prize, you know. Yeah, him and God right hand man. But guess what? Something go wrong. Something go wrong. And him feel like some boy, he need a younger chick, or he need another chick. And he must need somebody. If you affirm him, he need somebody to light him fire. He need to understand, say, or feel that him having more joy still. In that case, him in trouble, both ways. And if him take certain steps to adjust those things, what you might find that he might get depressed. Depression also comes with that. Because sometimes you're in a quandary. You don't know whether D or do, you know if we're up or down, you know if we're cut or, yeah, that's what I say. Yes, and there are some people who are more than willing, and sometimes too willing, to provide you with the kind of assurance that you need. When the fact of the matter is you need that assurance from your spouse and nobody else. Another thing that men need to understand and appreciate and value, because you need to know yourself, brothers, know thyself, is that the male ego is fragile. The male ego is fragile. Especially women like the reassurance, you know. Women like the reassurance and the little this and little that. And enough of them don't understand, so the men need it equally, if not more. His thing is more fragile than a woman. So we need to understand that too. Yeah, man, it's fragile. And there's a wrong statement in the wrong season of life can cut that lifeline. And if it cut the lifeline, now what you find happening is that we now start suffering from what we call sensory deprivation, because we separate ourselves from the object of our depression. Yes? So if we're not getting sex, or we're not getting the attention, we're not getting all of these things, then we separate ourselves and we go in a little box by ourselves. So we are separate. We don't touch, we don't talk much, we don't do the things that we used to do much. And what that does is put you in depression. But it also causes something that is called sensory deprivation. And if you live in sensory deprivation for too long, it becomes norm. And when it becomes norm, you start to question yourself if you really love your partner. Yes? Or if so it becomes a case of I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I've heard people say it, and to be quite frank, and I have I understand what they're saying. You can love somebody dearly, but not giving love with them, because your sexual attractive button has been disconnected. Some people can die sexually too. And so die sexually, I mean you can reach a state when you no longer want to have sex. You no longer want to have any kind of that kind of relationship. And it happens when you are locked off for too long, when you are not when you're not getting the appreciation, when you're not doing the thing for too long. And it happens both ways. It don't just happen for men with women, but and for women with men. If you lock off for too long, your brain and your mind, that switch become a lock off switch, and there's very few person who can turn on back that switch. So again, we need to understand and value the woman that we have. If you have a woman and you value her, then you need to start doing some different things. Sometimes you want to do it and you can't do it because she's going through a process too. But the fact of the matter is you must be there. So whenever that needs to take place, you are there to do what you need to do, that you're available to do what you need to do. Sometimes you might not want to take the initiative, and you don't want an initiative, but at some point in time, you have to meet somewhere. The minds have to meet. And that's why communication becomes so important in relationships. And some people say, well, I'm a man, I'm not really talk much because it's a silent type, man, a strong, shy, silent type. Well, that won't help you. There's a whole lot of stuff that rests on your shoulder, being the man. And I want you to understand that if it rests on your shoulder, being the man, then we have to do some things to make the thing work for us. No me talk woolly, but I'm still not saying no post, no comment. I need to hear some comment. Please, sir, men everywhere, married men and men who are not married yet and men who are hoping to get married. I need to see some comments somewhere, man. I need to, yeah, go to the private chat. We need to see some comments. Yeah, we need to see some comments. We need to get something going. Because I need to hear if what I'm saying is connecting with some of you. I want to know if some of you, there's a similar challenge. I want to know what you do to overcome those challenges. You want to share what you do to overcome those challenges. So we are open. Please do, yes, make you know what I go on, so that we can move the thing forward. Please, 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 please. So yeah, we're open. So you can type your comments in the chat so we can get the thing moving along, because we don't have much time. It's after 5 right now. I know some people going off. And if you can't do it there, then of course do it in the WhatsApp group, because what is going on. And that is true. And that is true. Yes, yes, my brother. That is true, And that's where I said the ego of men is fragile. Yes? Because the fact of the matter is, men want to feel as much appreciated as women want to feel appreciated. Some women don't think so. I'm going to tell you something too. A study was done many years ago, and they looked at some of the fine women, fine, shapely women, women who were, moving up and so on, professionally and doing all these things. And they asked them, who would they marry to? Who would they marry to? And I'm sure them two set of man. I'm sure them a man with a bang belly, but he's successful, and I'm sure a man physical and rare and buff and all these things. And what came out of that study was that when they were younger, this was the guy that they idolized. This was the guy that they saw. This was the guy that them eyes would catch. You understand? But when they got older, the little fat pot belly man with the bald head, most of them said they would marry to those men. And I asked the question, why though? Why? Yes? And the answer was given in the research. The answer said that what women want is security and stability. The older they get, there's more than one security and stability in a relationship. Enough, man, as I said the last time, I said, listen, when a woman said, no, man, it's okay, man, we make it, we do it. Don't take that as gospel. And it's not that she's telling a lie. No, she might say that because that is a sympathetic thing to say. But the fact of the matter, when we reach a certain stage in life and a certain age in life, listen, we don't want to know that anybody can come and lock out the water because we don't have sufficient saving. So when you start working, start to save. As a matter of fact, start to save and start to invest. As I said to people, get more aggressive with your investing. Get more aggressive. I am sorry that I wasn't as aggressive when I was younger. You need to get aggressive with your investing. Yes? Because that will help you in the latter years. And when you do investing, some people like the short term and medium term. I said you must have short term, medium term, and long term investment objectives. Yes? Because when you reach retirement age at 65, you need that kind of income in order to keep you balanced. Your retirement money from the government or through NIS will not be sufficient for you to live comfortably. Unless you're going to eat cat food. So don't tell nobody, don't make nobody say, no man, it's all right, man, we make it. No, invest. Find something and plug your money into. Find something and plug your money into that will give you the kind of returns in those days that you will need. Yes, and you start doing it from now. Small steps, incremental steps. And when you finish, at the end of the day, what you realize that, yeah, you might have some hiccups along the way, but when you retire, you'll be a little more comfortable, a little more safe. Nobody wants to retire and can't take a little trip out. I take a little vacation down on the North Coast. Nobody wants to retire and can't do that. If you retire and can't do that, then your life becomes static. You become like, yo, hard. We work so hard and this, and then people complain about we work so hard. Work hard is neither here nor there. You understand what I say? Don't tell me how hard you work. Tell me how much money you save. Tell me how much money you invest. That is the important thing. And the men must know, understand that despite the empathy, despite the sympathy, despite the love and all that there is that is coming your way, when it comes down to the longevity of your family and the security of your family and the financial security of your family, it lies on your shoulder primarily. You are man, the provider, man, the priest, and man, the protector. And if that's the case, then you must provide your family with the answers to the problem they need. You must. You must. So my thing is, do what needs to be done. Do what needs to be done. And ensure that at the end of the day, your relationship will grow and strengthen. Real talk, Sir Bailey. Real talk, real talk. You see, sometimes we don't think about it, we just think about the nice part. Like some people just think about what the girl sex and nice and the sex going good. Or may have a nice good wife and ray. All of that is good. It is good for now. But it will not be good when the bills, when light bill hit 20% increase. It's not going to be good when the gas move from $200 a litre to $400 to $500 a litre and you still drive because you have to go to work, you have to go look the cheddar, you have to go look something out the road. You understand me? It's still it not going to be the same when the children can't go to school and them reach a college and them can't go to college and you struggle and you can't eat and nobody can't eat just to send them go to college. You are suffering them are trying to go through. And I tell you something too. Children are inherently ungrateful over time. They may start to love you after a while now, but them inherently ungrateful. It's anytime it means that them will suffer to make some things happen, then believe me, somebody going to have to foot that blame. Somebody going to have to face that judgment. And usually it's the parents, because you know, we have me 5 couldn't mind me. We have me 5 couldn't supply my needs and this and this and thing. You know, 3 years of that. One boy tell him granny who was a evangelist in our church. Everything shot him about Jesus. Jesus don't do nothing for him. Jesus don't do nothing for me. That him say. That him said to him, granny, who pray for him all the time and cover him and when she have a little pension money, more like should have share to them too. You understand? So I said to people, put the plans in place. Put them in place so that at that time you can have a smoother retirement. Yes? Streams of income coming in. That's what we're seeking to do right now. That's what we're seeking to enhance and make sure that at the end of the day it happens. I reached 5:30 already, so I kind of lock up the thing. But we have 3 quick things I want to talk to you about. We want to run a course for at least 20 men. We want 20 men who dip on the podcast. If we have 20, any man who can bring in some additional man, so at least we build it up to as big as it can be. The man who bring in the most person on this platform, we do have a prize for you. We're making it a challenge. So the man who bring on the most, we have a prize for you. So we want to go out and seek some man of like minds to bring them onto the podcast so that we can share on even a bigger level. Yeah, so that is the first thing. So we're asking you to invite out your friends and all other person you think who would want to be a part of this, who we can teach some stuff and who we can make some stuff happen with. We want to know them and we want them to know we. So you need to actually do that little link up there for us. And of course, for the person who bring in the most men, there is a prize awaiting you. The second thing, and it's connected to the first thing, ankle bone connected to the foot bone, is we want to do a course. I want to run at least a 5 weeks course, 4 or 5 weeks, and we're going to teach We want someone to come in and teach us how to create additional income stream over the internet. You see, I'm saying that very softly. I don't want everybody to know this. Yeah. So we're going to look at how we can use the internet to create some income streams for ourselves. We have men who are retired, yes, who need to be there because they're retired, but they're not dead. Some people feel say you're retired, dead. They're never dead. As long as your brain alive and your finger can work, you're not dead. You understand me? We want to teach you how to make some monies over the internet. So we have been having the talk. Well, we start the talk already. We start trying to find somebody who can come and I'm not sure if it's going to cost, what it's going to cost. If I'm going to do it pro bono. But what I'm going to try and do is to at least keep it pro bono. If it can be pro bono, as minimum as possible. So we're looking at a number of things. Yes, we want to look at a number of areas. Whatever area suits you best, we want to learn all of the areas and you can try to maximize your returns on those areas. So we're looking at selling stuff over the internet. Yes, selling your own photography, your works, your painting, so on over the internet. We're looking at that. We're looking at selling um, affiliate marketing issues over the internet. We look at, people like to write children book and so on. We're looking at a number of areas, that we can max out. Yes, we can max it out, and we're good to go. Yeah, and so we can work it. We're looking at also learning and how to do some stuff. Yes, over the internet. Again, we created income streams. What we expect to get out of this? We expect that the men who participate in that training will be able to create at least three additional income streams. And we're not talking about Jamaican money. So we're talking about you earning money in US currency. Yes? So that is one of the things that we want to put forward. So we're trying to work through that and we'll let you know. The third thing is that we have a project. We want to do a project at the end of this podcast, season 1. So we want to do a project. We have 2 options on the board. There is a basic school that needs to be painted up and so on. And it means that we'd have to take a side off and we just go shell it down. We can put our name on it. We can say from the Man Cave group, we can sign it, whatever. But we can do that. It's a basic thing. We can paint up a little school, make the children's lives a little better. There's also a gentleman whom I know who is not wealthy and he lives in a very precarious situation. I think I have a picture. I don't want to call a name, so I'm going to show you a picture, right? So I'm going to send this to Tech, and Tech's going to put it up before we leave this platform. Now, you see that picture? That picture is a very important picture because that picture is the house that he lives in. Now, the house that he lives in is in need of whopper repairs. We have started some of that work already. Blocks have been purchased and so on, and the foundation is being dug right now. We can help to lay some blocks. We can help to do some stuff. We're trying to get someone to do some steel work. I'm going to send it to your Tech. Steel work, so we can try and just max out the thing, and we can make his life and those who depend on him a little bit better, a little bit happier. So that is part of the thing that we're looking at as well. I'm going to send it in the group, and then the Tech will put it up on the screen, and then we know exactly what we're doing. So we also want to have a men's summit rather. We want to have a men's summit where we. No, this is not it. Yeah, where we have speakers coming in just to talk to us about different areas, motivation, and so on and so forth. So we have that too, and we're trying to work through that part. So we're hoping that you will be a part of that. Yes. And I'm trying to find this and I can't find it. Oh my God. Whenever I feel that I've been too much thing to say, that is part of the challenge. It's just having too much something. And this is having one bag of something. And now I see the something. I mean, if you see what I say, yes, it is. This is it. This is it. This is it. Don't lock off just yet, Tech. Don't lock off just yet. Let me send this to Tech. Yes. Man Cave. All right. I share it I share it with you guys, and I'm going to share it with the tech team. Yes. I'm going to share it with the tech team. Yes. And they'll put that up. That's house that the gentleman lives in. You can put that up when it hits you tech, and we will be able to assist. If we can assist, then we can assist. We need to decide on the project, and we will advertise the date for the men's summit. Yes, a number of persons, to be quite frank, even people from 104 has relished the idea of having a men's summit, where we can really address some issues and try to motivate the men to their highest potential. And we are looking forward to it. We are looking forward to doing that summit. We have about 2 or 3 presenters, and we want all of you to be there. Yes, all of you to be there. Every person who has signed on we are looking forward to be there, so we can basically, push the thing forward and continue to build out. Want to thank you for being with me today. Want to thank you for sharing. Some persons on the YouTube, some persons here, Sir Bailey and others. We want to thank you for being here, and we want to ask that we contemplate as well a day out where we can go. We're thinking about going to fishing. Yeah, so we just buy some lines and we just go through some lines and fish. Yeah, you know what I mean? Care to cold back a red stripe, you know what I mean? For those who drink that, if not, you two back a Kool-Aid will work too, you know. So we share. There's a men's day out where we share with the fishing, we just relax, lime out, and of course enjoy each other company and continue to motivate, continue to mentor, continue to build the capacity in men so that we may accomplish our highest potential and goal. Yes, those that God has ordained for us. Man, the provider, man, the priest, and man, the protector over his household. We want to just thank you again for being here on Man Cave. Yes, one more episode, and of course, we just want to thank you. We want to thank as well. I didn't see him today. I'm not sure if he's on. Our brother Philip Williams, who has been consistent. I think he has posted some jobs that were available in the public domain. So for all the young men who are not working, or even the older men who are not working, there are some opportunities there that you can explore. Please do not say that, oh, mom, I can't look over people. No, you need to put in something to get out something, and we are here to help. So if you want to write a resume, if you want to write an application letter, we'll be able to assist you, and if we be able to assist you, then we'll be able to at least provide you with an opportunity to become employed. We are here for you, and we are a resource for you. Do not say I can't do it without asking the question first. Ask, and we will get it done for you, or we'll point you in the direction where you can get it done. This is Man Cave, and this is Sunday, yes, afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here with you. It's my pleasure to have you. And we just want to thank you for your patience and thank you for your attention. Be blessed. Be blessed. Have a productive week as a new month will start in a couple of days. Man Cave. We want to rebuild that structure. Yes. We're going to move it away because it's almost right at a kind of precipice. So we're going to move it away from there, and we're going to build a proper structure. Yes, a little bedroom and a little living area with a kitchen for the gentleman. We have put some blocks down there, and steel, and we're going to assist in moving that forward. So that could be a project that we take on, and that would be a worthy project. I would be happy to stand beside that project with any man who is able to put in at least a half their work to make it happen. We bless you. Contemplate it, because we're going to come back and ask you the question. We're going to need to know if you want to be a part of that too. So consider what you will do. Consider what you can contribute. Consider, we're looking for equity right now, looking for muscles and hands. That's what we're looking for right now. So that's one of the things we can take on. This is Man Cave. We want to thank our tech for being so gracious, very efficient, trying to work through the processes. we're going to try and solve that issue with yes, that naked HD XYZ, yeah, that kind of thing. We're not sure who wants to show us naked women, but yeah, we have seen a few in our lifetime, so we don't necessarily want to see strangers. Okay, so we're going to try and solve that problem. You can also go to our Man Cave store because we'll be looking when we're going out. We want to roll out in a uniform way, so we'll have some t-shirts and pullovers, hoodies, caps, cups, Man Cave merch. So we want to just look at the store, and if you can buy some, you buy some. I mean, that's what it's all about. That money will go towards funding projects and so on. So yeah, so we want that to happen, and therefore we invite you to, yeah, man, make it work, make it happen. Yeah, make it happen. We are growing. We are growing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the Man Cave.